Hey, 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 Aries. I don't know why I thought Aquarius. All right. Why was I getting ready to say that? Some of you might be, we're not doing love readings per se, but some of you may be connecting with an Aquarius or even just coming into new ideas, new ways of thinking that are just totally not, your typical way of thinking or your normal way of processing things. We're going to do a pick a card. So after I get these three cards put out here for you from the Psalms deck, then I'll let you guys pick your card. Well, two cards just jumped on out. One, two. What do we have for Aries for the month of December? One more card, please. Okay, which one? Boom. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to give you guys a look at your cards. Just take a moment and take a deep breath in and exhale. And choose whichever one calls to you. Okay, so starting with group one, Psalms 73 and 2. Yeah. I feel like some of you are looking back on a path and getting new perspective or new idea. I say ideas, but some of this is inspiration from past experience that is formatting or coming in the format of an idea or a new thought. Some of you are looking at where you've come, what you've done, what didn't work, and maybe even just understanding why you went so many different ways before you got to this place where you are now. Some of you are wondering if you backtracked. Some of you are even disappointed that you're realizing that you've taken extra steps to get to somewhere that you really have to take any extra steps for. You were already in alignment, or I say in alignment, but you were navigating the way you were roaming and you were meant to roam. There you go. So even if you had to repeat some corners, you got to go down the same street a couple times to figure it out. It's feeling like it's not feeling heavy for you right now. I think you're seeing the value in what was taking place. One more shuffle. Okay, Aries. Calling all of the elements: air, water, fire, earth. We thank our ancestors, our guides, and all those for our highest and overall good, who love us unconditionally. We welcome them into this space. We welcome their insight and wisdom. We thank our highest self for being present here and offering the guidance and information necessary to navigate this next part of our lives. So, December. Okay. I just wanted to come out, but let me read the scripture first. As for me, my feet had almost strayed. My steps were nearly let off course. Don't lose your way. Traversing the earth plane in order to return to the ocean of light can be perilous. It's very easy for us to become spiritually blind. That is, to lose our way, forgetting what we've learned over the course of lifetimes. Alluring, intoxicating earth in cooperation with our physical senses can lie to us, convincing us to embrace illusion. Over time, we see ourselves as purely material beings. We seek to acquire more and more material things, and we come to behave as though the material world, including our body, is going to last forever. If you're at this point when death approaches, Earth won't say, "Thanks for coming." It'll say, "See you again." If you don't want to suffer from spiritual blindness and its consequences, read everything you can about the nature of the soul and its purpose in this world. So yes, to follow up, that follows up on what I was getting at with the initial thought here, is that some of you are worried that this. I mean, I say worried, but acknowledging that what it's taken to get you to the place that you are in, you're acknowledging where you missed things, where you were not really paying attention to details, or where there were signs and synchronicities and even things just showing you what was unfolding, and you might have not necessarily been seeing that. So in December for Aries, I get the feeling, if you picked group 1, you may be just connecting with that idea that everything has brought me to this place, and whatever attitudes that I had towards those things, those experiences, those people, I can fix. I say I can fix, but I mean, I need to address those things. Some of you, I feel, for this group, are well aware of the things that you were projecting onto those situations. You're aware of where they come from, the root of them now. And having a better understanding of why you felt that way, why you thought that way, why you assumed these things when the situation may have not even been that at all. Okay? Queen of Wands, Knight of Swords, Ace of Cups. Yeah. For this group, there's some action that you've been wanting to take. There's something that you've been wanting to press forward with, something that you wanted to express for some time. I get the feeling that for this group, if you're connected to someone else in a spiritual manner, if you've actually, I say in a spiritual manner, but if you feel like you are connected to someone on a deeper level, someone, something, a project, a place, and you've been wanting to move forward to that thing, you've been wanting to take action towards it. And I get the feeling, though, that there is something that you were giving your attention to, that you made priority, and it stopped you. It hindered you from being able to take action towards this thing that you were really desiring. Now, why would we nurture something from the past, as opposed to stepping into that future thing? For some of us, commitment, what's fair, okay? As the Queen of Staffs for me is often like, what's fair, and there has been there's been what you thought was fair was only benefiting whoever or whatever it was you were putting your efforts and energy into. It wasn't necessarily beneficial for you. And so this seems like one of those energies where, you're coming to understand why you've put other people and other agendas and projects and ideas before your own. I also get the feeling that, there were people around, or even just ideas of your own, that were telling you that this new thing or this new path or this desire that you had wasn't fruitful. It wasn't genuine. So you neglected to take action on it. And with that Psalms card, I feel like that's a general idea of looking back and saying, I now see the intention in that situation. I now see the truth of what that the truth was, that what I felt or what I desired may have 100%, I say may have, but was what I should have been pursuing. However, any opposition or block was there for you to be able to stand up against, if that makes sense. It wasn't necessarily that that direction or that word or that influence was meant for you to follow. You know, sometimes we are charged with standing up for what we believe to be right and fair. Now, I do get the idea that this person or this whatever it could have been. I feel like it was outside of you. What was convincing you that this endeavor or this road or this path wasn't it? This person could easily pose as a a genuine a genuine this energy is a opposer. You know, the intentions are not necessarily meant to serve you. This person, you've given this person some type of authority or spiritual authority. You respect where they come from, and you may need to address that with yourself. Because even though the devil is reversed here, when I have it here with the Queen of Wands, I get this feeling that this person used their influence, or this person energy experiences influence on you is what is it's not it's kind of toxic, because it appears fair, it appears right, it appears to be in alignment with you. And I get the feeling that, like, this is often, okay, the first thing that comes to my mind is very personal, but you know, if you have a parent figure or just someone whose opinion you've always valued, at some point you will reach a place where this person could easily be exercising some type of control over you, and not in a negative way, but what they believe to be true and right is what's being exercised over what your spirit is calling you to do or say or be. So basically, I do feel that this group is being charged with balancing out your own knowledge, wisdom, knowing, with advice and input and insight from outside sources. I really get a strong feeling that this person, it's a person, could be a fire sign. So Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. This person could have definitely had their own motive, but they presented it in a way of, I care, I don't want you to get caught up in this. And I don't get the feeling that it's necessarily ill intent, but what that person thought to be best. Please clarify the Knight of Swords, please. Yeah, it's like they say that they were saving you from heartache, or from disappointment. They felt as if that's what they were doing, protecting you from something. I also get the feeling that this person could have just had motives to steer you away from that thing, make you walk away from what it was that you were pursuing altogether. You know, some I do get the feeling it could have been negative. It could have been just this person's own idea about the project that you were pursuing, the person that you were pursuing. They could have had their own perception of it built up. And actually, I do get the feeling that they were speaking from a place of spiritual authority. So this could be a pastor, a spiritual advisor, counselor, one, you know, sage, someone that you went to for some type of advice or guidance and how to deal with the situation, and they deterred you from pursuing it any further. Please clarify the Ace of Cups. Yeah. So what they wanted you to believe was that this new thing that you were pursuing, I really get the feeling that it was something that you really felt deeply about. If it's not a romantic connection, it's just something that you had a lot of feelings about that you didn't understand. And this person or this advice that you gave was telling you that this was just going to be a burden for you. You know, that your efforts were going to be in vain, honestly, is what I feel that they were trying to get you to believe. And honestly, from what I can tell, you have shifted in that. You know, now you're aware that the advice that was given, or the actions that you were taking, that you decided to take based on their advice, wasn't what you wanted. Wasn't right. It wasn't true. And for some of you, the motive is coming up to be seen by you. Or, and if this is you and you had this energy of telling someone something or case may be, then you're being outed right now as not necessarily deceitful, but as a meddler in a situation that really had nothing to do with you. Again, if it's not you, it's that other person. For group one in the month of December, it looks like you are stepping out from under the influence of from others. Okay, there's no longer, you're seeing how allowing other people to dictate situations, how weighing your decisions more on not trusting yourself. That's what it comes down to. You didn't trust yourself, and so you began to seek out advice and help, which is normal. However, when that advice and help begins to overshadow your own natural instinct, your own natural feelings, then you can find yourself, one, feeling played, honestly, feeling like you lost out on something. But you haven't lost out. If you're now willing to see, if you can see clearly now what happened and how everything and everyone played their roles, then you can, for this group, you can change the course of this. Judgment card coming out at the bottom. You can definitely change the course of this with that realization. For group two, Psalms 35 and 6. If you picked group two, I feel as if you're ready to come out of deep introspection. For some of you in this group, you may have in the last few months, or actually could be moving into this period for December. No, you guys are coming out of this month. Towards this, at the end of the year, early next month, you guys are coming out of your cave. Okay, whatever barriers you've built up around you, whatever things whatever method you were taking to find solitude, to allow for some introspection, some integration. I think you're now seeing that you're being called out of hermit mode. And for some, the message of, you were hidden away. You may not have actually taken those efforts to set yourself aside or apart, but you were set apart anyway. And it was to allow time for you to see what was taking place, for you to heal whatever may have been like lingering. And so with this December, you're really closing this part out, I feel. And whatever dark cloaking you felt was following you around or covering you, it's lifting. I wanted to say, I hear it's shining. You're shining through it, or the light is now coming into you. It's like not blocked anymore. Which sounds like new insights coming in after a time of being really confused. Okay, let's see. Let their path be dark and slippery, with the Lord's angel in pursuit. Pray for those who hurt you. Many, if not most, people are asleep, including those who yield power. Far too often, the powerful further their interest at the expense of everyone else. Ignorance and brute force are a lethal combination. If you haven't encountered wrathful tyrants, you're surely come face to face with raging bullies, and you've asked, why? For centuries, people have been asking, why do the righteous suffer and evildoers prosper? In other words, I don't know how to say it in Hebrew. Okay, but your nonviolent response to those who inflict pain on you must include prayer. Pray. May they awaken. If you're in the throes of anger, pray. May they be held fully accountable for their actions. May they be forgiven. May the two of us be filled with peace. And here, that time, that darkness that we're talking about, that dark cloud or that dark cloak that may have been following you around, well, that sounds like it may be any feelings, ideas associated with a person or something that has been taking place with you. Now, I think very specifically, and I feel the need to say that it resonates for me with the first group. So, if you've now become aware, um, if you've become aware of some things, some hurtful things, and you hid yourself away, for a while, then the time that you spent in introspection, you have a better understanding and you're now being led to forgiveness. Okay. It's not this is not one of those superficial, I'm going to forgive to look like like to pretend I'm over it. That's not what we're getting at here. It's a true release here, is what you're being asked. Because we all know that the the reality of it is that forgiveness is a freeing agent. We hear people talking about, oh, it's for you, not for them. Honestly, it's for both. Okay, it's for everyone. The more we can exercise forgiveness of self, of others, we definitely expand the consciousness of everyone, of the whole collective of the universe. So it's not just, oh, it's for you. No, actually, you staying in that vibration of love, compassion, and forgiveness, it feeds into the higher plane. It feeds into this. It feeds to the rise of that consciousness, that Christ consciousness. Okay. Please clarify this 35 and 6, Psalms 35 and 6 for Aries. So Page of Swords, the lovers, yeah. Okay. Again, this is really pulling from group 1, but lovers, meaning there was a choice. You have a choice here. If you're aware of some ulterior motive now, you have the choice of how you're going to proceed in this situation. And you're being asked to choose peace. Okay? You're being asked to choose peace. There's something that's going to be coming back together if we're able to hold. And this could be anything. I'm moving away from just talking about relationships. But there's a coming back together of things that were separated because of this person or this interaction that was taking place. And the unfolding of this, all the revealing of this thing, is all divine. It was going to happen, and I think that subconsciously you went into hiding, knowing that this was going to come out and that you didn't need to do anything to help it come out. I have one more. Okay. Yeah. So the Four of Cups. Some of you are going to go to, and even some of you are not going to be able to go to this person or to, you're not going to be able to go to this person and say whatever you need to say. So you are just going to definitely need to be okay with the idea that saying the prayer for them and letting it go is as far as it's going to be your effort, is as far as your efforts need to go. You know what I mean? Because just because you've come to a place of understanding and you've come to now a place where you can forgive or show compassion doesn't mean that person has released their motives. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean that they've released their motive. And that's what I feel here. And it honestly doesn't mean that the situation is going to be all sunshine and roses from here. It just means that you are not carrying it. Please clarify the Page of Swords here for group 2. Page of Swords for group 2. Page of Cups. Yes. So for some, paired with Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, really Pisces energy coming up, because I get this idea of spiritual spying or spiritual deceit of some sort. That's what just came up. We have the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords, and then you have this introspection card. So there was something that was illusory. You know, it was an illusion in the situation, and it was an intentional illusion. You know, I feel. Someone's going to be trying to defend these actions that were taken, though. So we'll need all of the time that has been spent by yourself, learning to trust yourself, growing your intuitive ability, or whatever, growing your knowledge on certain topics. Whatever you were doing when you were in the cave was preparing you to walk away from or stand against this energy, this opposing energy. Yeah, there's definitely energy of this choice to okay, lack of forgiveness in this situation will only dethrone you. That's what we're getting at. That the person or that situation has already been deemed as what it is. It's already being seen that way. So the way you react to or perceive now is how is going to reflect you. Okay, and if you want to be seen, the Emperor came out in reverse to clarify the Lover's card. So if you are hoping to regain power, regain your sense of self, then it's only lost if you allow that situation or that person to maintain this control, which lack of forgiveness just gives whatever person, energy, situation control over you. Okay, so that's where we're going. If you choose to not go with forgiveness, compassion, it's going to continue to have a hold on you, even though you've been freed from it. You've now been freed from it. The light wouldn't be seeking you in the cave if it wasn't time for you to come out. So understand that now it's based on you're being encouraged to make this choice. You still have free will, and you can regain your power if you move with the highest intention for everyone involved. Just move in that direction. Please show me what the Four of Cups means in this reading. What's the Four of Cups here for this group of Aries? Yeah. Seven of Cups in reverse. For me, yeah, you were receiving insight, information from too many different sources, and that's why you were urged to go inside. Too many different influences affecting you in your way, and it was causing you to. For some, you reject. You just didn't know what to reject. You took everything. You were taking everybody's influence in, and so now you're at a place where you went and protected, strengthened yourself. It seems like your aura is strengthened. Your energy field is not taking in everything and everybody. That's how that feels to me. Which makes sense. You can now celebrate yourself, your ability to move, your ability to you can trust yourself in these decisions that you're making to move forward. This unforgiveness will play a third party in the situation, in whatever situations you move into, if you choose not to release it, or sorry, yeah, if you choose not to forgive, it'll continue to play a third party. It'll keep that other person in power almost. And actually, for some of you, this might be substances. You may have been detoxing, and this is for maybe just a small group, but if you've been detoxing or feeling the need to start detoxing, you're understanding now how this substance or herb or whatever has, and whatever effect it was having on you. You're now more aware of it, and the choice to walk away from it and regain your power over yourself and your mind, because I get the feeling that it's some type of psych, you know, if it's psych meds or something like that, you're seeing that you don't need it, you're rejecting it. You say, I don't need anything outside of myself to process this or to deal with this thing that's going on, if that makes sense. And feeling a sense of celebration, very proud of yourself having stepped away from it, and again regain control over yourself. A person, very personal for me, but when I was on psych meds, I had always felt really guilty, like, why do I need this? And I went through a lot of things where I wanted to get away from smoking marijuana. You know, or not smoking marijuana, but I wanted to get away from taking my psych meds. And I went to marijuana. Then marijuana became my crutch, and I was constantly needing it to maintain myself. And then I finally, I'm just letting you know, like 3 weeks now, almost 4 weeks, that I haven't smoked marijuana, and it's just like, I'm feeling clearer and understanding now, learning what my cannabinoid system was telling me, what my body was telling me about what I was doing and how much I was partaking in this thing. Okay. Now it's been months since I was heavy in it. Okay. But it was I was tapering off, and the less and less that I was partaking in it, I was seeing that I was just more and more clear. And then making a switch to CBD flower, it just let me know, it's like, hey, I made a switch to CBD flower. Let me clarify. I made a switch to CBD flower, and then within weeks, I was just not feeling like I needed it at all, anything at all. After I became aware that my body was just not happy with how much THC was getting into it. Okay. So it's not for everyone, but for some of you, there might be tied to some type of treatment that you're in, and rejecting it because you feel like that's not the path, or that's not the way that you want to heal your body. Group 3. If you picked group 3, we have Psalms 115 and 17. It's fitting for December, as we kind of put old things down. You know, we, not old things, but just the things that we've come to understand we're not wanting to take into the next year. We're setting resolutions. We're deciding to separate ourselves from certain things, situations, people, putting them to rest. For some of you, you are telling yourself that you definitely want to try meditation, hypnosis, and things like that in this new year coming up. You want to open yourself. Oh, nice. Jonathan, you know, hey, if you need any conversation or anything like that, feel free to email me. Right now, I'm just helping as I can, so feel free to send. If you have a question or anything like that, then feel free to drop it below, and I'll always try to get back with you guys. So for group 3, yeah, it feels as if, you know, there's just some things falling away, some things being buried, and I heard some things being unearthed. So with that, I feel potential being unearthed, things that were seemingly dead not being dead, but also that general energy of moving into the next year with a lighter load. Okay, let me read the scripture. I don't know why I always want to jump to kind of clarify that for y'all. 115. The dead cannot praise the Lord, nor any whom go down into silence. Ooh, this ties to the last group. Okay, it's almost like a ladder thing for you guys right now. You're over focusing on someone. Strolling through an old cemetery from, let's say, the 18th century can be a very profound experience. Inevitably, we come to realize that the lives of those who are buried there have completely disappeared and vanished. No one who knew them is alive, and no one who heard of them, with very few, if any exceptions, is still alive. They cannot return to their world, and they cannot live as we can in our world. The dead and the living are cut off from one another by a gulf. Whenever Jews visit a cemetery, they acknowledge this divide by ritually washing their hands of the dead upon leaving. You are over focused on one or more people who were once in your life. They are cut off from you and you from them. Whether they are alive or dead, wash your hands of them and start thinking of someone who is in your life. Um, that's beautiful, actually, um, because you know, some experiences can be so life changing. Not always bad things are meant to be let go. You know, there's some things that we see that we've just valued so much that sometimes we do have to let go of. And it's deep. It's very sacrificial, and but the sacrifice is worth it. Okay, the sacrifice is worth it, and it doesn't make what you're leaving behind bad or negative. You know, a lot of times we feel the need to attach a negative connotation to something that we've left in the past, and we want to shift that. You know, I have personally been needing to working to shift the idea that something that ended it doesn't necessarily need that stamp of faulty or negative. You know, it's just over. Okay, it's just done. And this is a huge theme. A lot of people for Aries too, because that groundedness, you know, the Emperor energy or the Aries energy, I feel is that family energy, or what our life is created around, the people we are committed to, the organizations we're a part of. Sometimes I get that energy, and here there's a lot of people are dealing with huge major shifts in what once gave comfort to them. You know, we're being asked to seek comfort within ourselves, from the divine, you know, from just working and walking our path even. So a lot of these very deep attachments are, I mean, it's been hard. I'll be the first to say it. It's hard when there's siblings, family members that you've always valued their opinion, their input, just their place, period. It's hard to walk away. It's hard to separate yourself from them. But a lot of us are challenged to do so for our greater expansion, and then for our mission to be able to come forward in our reality, you know, so we can further align with it and move in it. Dang, thank you for that verification or that clarification. I'm always thankful for the feedback while I'm reading, because it can become kind of weird to be sitting here reading to yourself. So thank you. With the Five of Pentacles here in reverse, it seems that in this month, although these separations and these endings have been taking place, you know, we're ending the year. And it's funny because we always put a lot of emphasis on moving into a new year, but this energy is different, because I feel like the end of year ending is like nothing for you guys now, because of everything that's ended all year, you know, all the endings that you've been seeing all year. And so to move into January, or, you know, to change it from 18 to 19 is seeming like a very small thing for you guys right now. I get huge shakeups in families and friend circles and things like that. And you're not necessarily feeling that attachment. You're not feeling sad or burdened by the fact that things are now gone. It's almost if, not almost, it's as if after you came out of the cave, one, you had this better understanding of it all, okay? And, excuse me, you had this better understanding of it all. And because you have that divine insight now, there's no over attachment. There's no victim mentality. There's no, oh, woe is me. You know, the first thing that comes to my mind is parents. It keeps coming up because it's my personal thing that I have been dealing with, but I know that it's happening for a lot of people. Those deeper attachments, you're not feeling, oh, I didn't have a good example, or I didn't this, or they didn't this. That's not the energy that we're carrying. This group of Aries, excuse me, that's not the energy that you guys are carrying. That's past. It's already past. I speak about it a lot, where once you've understood the lesson that came with something, any hurt that you carry from that point forward is like a choice to carry it. Yeah. That the victim consciousness, because I feel like for some people that's actually what's being released. If it's not physical people or environments or situations, it's a mentality that's being released or shifted, I should say. Okay, math, 2 more parts, please. What else do you want me to say about it then? Yeah. The Three of Cups comes out again. So again, we're shifting from victim consciousness to I'm aware now of what has been added to my being, to my process. I know that my tool belt, my toolkit to process through future situations like this is going to be like if I had to cut my cousin off, my mom and my daddy off, then I know that moving forward, it won't be anything for me to separate myself from a toxic energy or any energy that just don't resonate, okay? You're celebrating the idea. You're seeing that this was meant for you to be able to now build solid foundations that serve your highest good. You had to make space. You had to make space for those who will celebrate you, for opportunities that will bring you success. Yeah. And the King of Swords is in reverse, so it seems as if, again, the authority you are releasing and again taking back power. That's what I feel. Taking back power of your mind, your thought processes. I don't know. I need to clarify the King of Swords real quick. Why is the King of Swords in reverse here? Okay. Right. Okay. So yeah, so that over attachment, Ace of Staves. You realize that lack of attachment, the lack of over that clearing the energy of over attachment is giving birth to is rebirth to your passions, or birthing new opportunities for you to really walk your path in a very confident manner. In December, this group of Aries, group 3, you are now putting your sword down that you've needed to kind of clear the field, and you are inserting creativity, passion, drive towards the things that bring you fulfillment. You're looking to journey forward, or with, like I say, with a lighter load, almost a full energy is what I feel here. Ten of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So let's clarify the Three of Cups, please, for this group 3. Queen of Cups in reverse. This group is also dealing with a balancing of, so all of those deep, neat, emotional contacts, emotional connections, those things that you felt so deeply, passionately connected to. That's where I get the feeling that it's closeness. There's something that once was super close knit, or that you valued so deeply once before. You know that now, once you've kind of like moved from it, your freest expression can now live. Strength card came out to clarify the Five of Pentacles. You're seeing the value in the wounds that have been inflicted before. The wounds that were once inflicted, that had you in that lack mentality or victim consciousness. You're seeing it. You're seeing the strength that you were given. You're seeing what was meant to be highlighted for you, what it was presenting for you, what you were meant to take from it into the future, or how it was pulling you into a better place in life, giving you the opportunity to close doors, open up new ones, put things to rest. Wow, that's good. That's gonna be the that's probably gonna be the caption. Putting things to rest. So maybe we have 3 cards for Aries for the month of December. What's the energy around them for the month of December? The Star card in reverse. Aries, December 2018. 6 of Swords in reverse. 5 of Cups. Okay. And the 5 of Staffs. So, overall, Aries, you may still be feeling some of the residual effects of some of these cut ties. Whether that means that some of you are now learning skills that you didn't necessarily have to have before because of your reliance on these systems or these people. I get the feeling that some feel like some will feel this month that wishes weren't granted, and you were expecting things to take place and they didn't happen. The advice that I'm feeling is that the fires that have been set definitely sent up messages for what you were needing, okay? And do not be dismayed by your own understanding or perception of what is taking place. But anything that doesn't bring you healing is not moving forward with you. It's almost as if there's a refocusing. Someone in December, someone is not going to get a new start in something, or something is going to stop moving in the direction that you wanted to move in. But if you can pay attention to what's still there between, and this is for someone who's here for relationship advice, but if you can pay attention to what's still there between the two of you and forget about everything else that's fallen away, this is when the true abundance will be revealed to you. In that time when you can take your mind off of everything that is lost, everything that didn't work out, everything that didn't move the way you wanted it to, or the way you expected it to, and see what is still left there. And I'm hearing that what's left is all that's needed to obtain the goal that you set out to obtain in the first place. You have everything that you've always had, what you needed to reach the goal. But you needed to clear some space so that you could work with them. All right, Aries. Thank you for coming and choosing the flowering. Choosing the flowering for your December reading. I hope that you took the time to subscribe, and we'll be coming back for next year. We have lots of stuff planned for you guys. Thank you. Bye.